You think you could?
You. It's 100% you. It's 100%. We would not be here if not for you. It's you.
The same that they were in the womb is like the same people that they're growing into.
I know some people whose husband or wives have taken the child to get vaccinated behind their backs, right? All right, hello and welcome back to the Ascended Life Podcast. I'm Darrell.
I'm Kesley.
And we are definitely back. It's been a while since we've been here.
What, over 2 years, I think.
I think it's been just at the 2-year mark. Because
Wow.
we were in Tulum. Do you remember when we were in Tulum?
Of course, yes. Very memorable time. Yeah, a lot has happened, so.
I'm saying time-wise. Do you remember, like, when were we literally in Tulum?
It would have been September, October of 2024, I believe.
Yeah, so we're not quite at 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years, but not quite.
Yeah, so we're coming up on 2 years. All right, cool. So what we're going to talk about today is just basically going to be life abroad, what we've been up to, life abroad. And just to give a quick catch up, we live abroad, clearly. We're currently in Cartagena. And if you've watched our past episodes, you know quite a bit about us. So we're not going to dive back into a lot of that stuff. We have a new family member, though. That's the biggest update since last. We have Eternity. He's 7 months now. Mm-hmm. Born on a full moon. Well, let's not talk about his birthday, but that's all good. But we have a new...
It was around the full moon in January.
Somewhere in that period.
Around that
7
time.
or 14 days, somewhere around there, right? And he's great. We have a new son, and
He's a happy boy. He's growing fast. He's already crawling.
Yeah.
And he's amazing. A great addition to the family. And the kids they love each other. I mean, we wake up in the mornings and they're all cuddled up. They can't wait to see each other. So I think that's one of the best parts for me as a parent, is to see how they interact with one another.
What do you, let me ask you, so with you and your siblings growing up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're only like, Akasha's almost 4. She almost has 4 years, and Eternity's
almost 3 years apart, but not quite. And they're a little over 3 years.
So the gap with you and
Jay and Scott, yeah.
Who's the middle, Jay or Brad? I mean, Jay or Scott?
Mm-hmm, Jay.
All right, so let me ask you. So, because me and my brothers and sisters, we're all a year apart, as you've seen. Well, there's a year and then 10 and then 10, Yeah. I mean, I know Akasha's only 3.5. Me on the outside looking in, well, I guess I'm on the inside. I'm dad, right? It just looks beautiful. The love I see, she wakes up. I remember personally feeling like, I don't know if it was just from TV or what, but just thinking it was a normal thing. My brothers and sisters and I, we used to argue a lot. I don't know for yours.
Yeah, definitely with my middle brother and I, because we were closer in age. I don't remember as much when he was a baby, but obviously as he grew, we would have our bickering, our fighting. My youngest brother, I was in kindergarten when he was born, Scott. And I remember when he was, he came into the world, and I couldn't get enough of him. It was like Akasha and Eternity, where I remember my parents telling me, like, you're smothering him. Back up. You are smothering him, because I want to be kissing him and loving him and cuddling him. So very similar to how Akasha is with Eternity.
So was there ever a time period that you can recall when you and Scott were arguing a lot?
No.
Wow.
No, because we're almost 6 years apart. It's, he was just, he was a little
happen.
brother. And
it can happen. Amber's 9 or 10 years apart, and she could get into it.
I mean, Scott, if you watch this, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember ever bickering. My memories of him are like, he was the little boy that was running around at my basketball games in high school, like, making friends with everybody and cheering everyone on. And that's, that's kind of how he is too. Jay and I do, even my middle brother, like, I remember great times with him too when we were younger. Like, we would play together. He would always want to play with my friends, my girlfriends and I, and, we had a lot of great memories together, all three of us. And this is bringing back the recollection of those memories when I see the two of them.
Well, the reason I ask is I feel like there's a narrative that, like, brothers and sisters are just meant to bicker. And seeing Akasha and the way she is with it, I know it's early, right? Yeah. Somebody watching might be like, oh, your daughter's doesn't even have 4 years yet. Yeah. And, he's barely 7 months. Just the way that they are, there's no way I can see them being, like, in a combative
there's, like, I see, like, two things before she was born. One is, I remember, and we would talk to her about this, because we knew, right? She is the type of child that likes a lot of engagement or attention, as you might say. And so we were always prepping her. Remember that? And so one of the things I would always tell her is like, you're going to have a little brother and you're going to be best friends forever. Like he's going to be, you will always be brothers. You will always have him. You will always be friends. And same with Dominic, like you and Dominic, like you're buddies, you're friends. Like they've been like this since the time literally the day she came into the world. So, you know, we kind of like helped foster that, but certainly it's in them as well. And then I think that book that she had too, like really helped. There was that book, it was like a Big Sister's Book of Waiting, and we would read this book to her about how the baby was gonna come. And also since we had him at home, I think that really made a difference too, because she was literally in the house when like I went into labor and she was there in the room, like you were getting things ready. You were like getting all the music that I wanted and calling the midwife and the doula and everything. And like she was in the bathroom with me, like coaching me. And
there's a lot to that. I think
there's a lot to that.
I think we need to do a whole episode on that alone.
Yeah, we do.
To Akasha, I think that I really feel like we prepped her really good for it. Yeah. I really also feel like I don't think she's at a loss for attention or love though.
No,
I think that maybe when you see that, it's like if there's a kid here, right, and they were used to all this attention, I don't feel that the attention's been split. I feel like they equally, maybe because we have a team, because we have you, me, Gina, Lou, we have nannies and all that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that really speaks to something we talked about the other day, which is like this idea of like bringing a child up in community. So, you know, we were living in Atlanta away from our parents. We have that community, we can go to them. And then here we've built this community of like so many amazing people, women specifically, who are around daily.
That's another episode.
Really love.
That's another episode.
Love them. Like,
my experiences in demasiado and too much feminine energy. I think that's a whole nother episode. I think that'll
be like a therapy session.
Because I mean, we got an episode. This is facts. It's not just me though.
No,
we
have
episodes. We could go into talking about the distinction between. So Dominic's moved. If anybody who knows us knows that Dominic, our firstborn, he's 21 or 22. I'm sorry. He moved in with us. And Akasha used to be throwing these fits like daily. It was just a daily thing that these fits were going to be thrown. He moved in and they stopped. Like I'm talking that day, you know? Yeah. So that's another, we got 2 new episodes. We got to talk about eternity, a whole episode about, because that was a whole thing. Well, and then talking about this feminine energy.
And that was the context. I remember how that came up the other day was like, we were noticing that her mood shifts are like, her mood is much more consistent. And I was like, I think just bringing a child up with community around, with a balance of men and women, and not just parents, but other people.
I was thinking about this,
It makes a huge difference.
I was thinking about this, all right? So we both, Luz is like so the way that our structure is breaking down, we have 3 nannies / housekeepers, right? Luz is the primary, great woman. She kind of like gives me kind of reminds me of my mom in some ways and others not so much. She's the lead lady. Then we have Gina, Gina's expertise is she's phenomenal with kids.
Yeah, she's like running around, playing, hide and go seek, like all
phenomenal.
Things.
Then we had a lady named Gigi, a girl that we had to kind of let her go, or she had to go back to Venezuela.
Yes.
And then we have currently, who's amazing, a woman by the name of Jo Maurice. And she is a cleaner on another level. I've not seen anybody she used to, apparently, she does like the way she does these couches and like the toilet paper, she does it like as if you were at a
hotel,
like a hotel or something like that, or not even just a hotel, more like a cruise or a resort or something like that.
Yeah, you manifested that too. You were like, I just want someone who's going to do the extra special touches.
I did. I was just feeling like
our lives, and it was like
nowhere.
I didn't even realize what we were missing until she came into our lives. And
so you appreciate her?
Of course.
I did not know you appreciate
all of them. Yes,
I don't mean it like that.
I'm saying she folded the towel in the roll thing and then put it around the hook, and then the little, I don't even know how she does the toilet.
I don't either.
The toilet paper thing is like magic to me. I'm like, does she have a magic stamp that she pulls out of her pocket? Like, how does she do this?
So she does these, so she takes our toilet paper and she folds it into like the roll into like this envelope, and there's like this circle.
And it looks like a seal.
It looks like a seal.
Does she have a seal?
Maybe she's walking around with a seal.
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, back on topic to what I was going to get into is like, excuse these planes. Maybe we'll just pause for a second.
Yeah, we live near the airport. So if you ever come visit us, we're very close to the airport. Everyone always asks me about that.
Just pause. I'll just cut this out. That was 2 planes back to back though.
Yeah, this is the time of day they ramp up again.
All right. So anyway, where we were going with this was we were talking about how the amount of feminine energy, the ladies in the house,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So the core team is Luz currently, Joe Maurice, and Gina is currently, that's the squad, right? I have noticed that Luz will cry at the drop of a hat. Like any type of thing that, like, I would tell her, like, hey, Luz, don't cut the plant. She's crying. Hey, Luz, did you say this to Akasha? She's crying. So I'm wondering if, like, maybe it, like, because I feel like she's the primary in the house. It's like, if there's a hierarchy in the home, it would go us, Luz, and then the other ladies. You know, I think she even knows that. Do you think that there's a potential, like, maybe because of Luz's emotional state, that, like, that's where all that was coming from?
I mean, I don't know. I can't speculate on that. What I can say is that what I think is unique is that Luz is a Leo and Akasha's moon sign is in Leo. And moon sign is like our inner child and what we need. So I do think it's really like the combination of those two together is really cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think that we have a house where emotional expression is welcome, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
I agree. All right, well, let's move right into it. So let's talk about life abroad with a full family, with a new baby.
A full family.
Well, because I mean, it's one thing to go out and to move with one kid. That's easy.
Yeah.
To move around with one kid, it's really not, you throw him or her in the baby Bjorn.
Yeah.
You walk around, y'all got two of y'all.
Last year she was 2.5, like, 2, and she could just move with us. Like she was like living life.
Looking back on it though, like I'm really appreciating that we didn't do this with him because we've been here with him small.
Yeah.
Think about how much on the road we were when Akasha was like 3 months.
Florida, like part-time basically. We never lived there, but we were there
in Florida, we were in New Orleans, we were in Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
You know, and Akasha
went to North Dakota that summer.
We were in the Carolina. Akasha spent a lot of that time on the road, and now I can see that, like, I appreciate the ability, like that small age.
Yeah.
Because there's this time, like now she's at like almost 4, so she'll sit down and chill like a small person, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, there's that gap, that like 1.5 when walking is new to like 2, and like good luck getting them to sit still. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
anyway, he had his first plane ride in there, though. He did really well. We went back to the U.S.
He really did.
He did really well on his first plane ride. So
let's talk about it. So life abroad with 2 kids as opposed to 1. What are your thoughts?
Wow. Well, I mean, we talked about some of the magical things. Like, we have an amazing community. So life abroad in the U.S., it just looks different. Like, people typically don't have that community and the level of support that we have with nannies, like right embedded into our lifestyle. And a lot of people ask, do they live with us? They don't. They still have their own homes, but they come in like a normal schedule, like 8 to 5. So that's beautiful. The way the kids, are just together is beautiful. I think that another thing about being abroad is, like, obviously the weather here is amazing. So they can be just out playing, go to the pool every day. Like, I think that's really awesome. It's a slower pace of life here, So also the fact that we both work from home and, with the nannies there, and we're in our offices and we're able to just kind of like flow and go back and forth and be there. And like breastfeeding, for example, like I don't have to worry about pumping. Like he's just right there in the other room and we're able to just flow naturally like that. Those are some of the really amazing things for me that stick out.
So what do you feel about being abroad with 2 kids as opposed to 1? Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, 2 kids as opposed to 1. I mean, eternity is so small yet that it is different. Like, there's more of, I think, teamwork, right? I think there's definitely more teamwork involved, more communication involved. In terms of being abroad, I can't say it's that different except the travel, like you mentioned. What do you think? What are your thoughts on 2
There's huge differences, drastic, huge differences. So, for example, because of the fact that the 2 children are in different age groups, which is always going to be, unless you have twins, due to the fact that they're in 2 different age brackets, 2 different maturity brackets, right? Their needs are different. All right. So let's start off with that. Eternity physically needs people to move him around, to feed him, to change his diaper, to do all that. And Akasha's at the tail end of diapers.
Yeah.
Right? She's pretty much done with potty training other than naps and sleeping. Akasha's able to get her own food. Really, I mean, she can't cook, You can give her the food. You don't have to feed it to her or anything like that. She can change her clothes. She can help you with things, right?
Yeah.
So it's the needs that are different. So for me, the key differences I'm noticing with one as opposed to two is when there's just one, all your brain, for me, logistically, just thinking, all I have to think about is just the one. What does she need, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, so whatever age place she's at, I'm able to kind of plan for that. Now, I'm going to talk about that abroad, and then I guess I'll talk about having two. So just having one kid abroad, I mean, look, the place that we chose to be abroad, I can't speak to the world. The places that we've chosen to go, Mexico and Colombia, I mean, you're able to get full-time nannies. I'm talking for not just... my brother has a nanny, but it's something like 4 hours a day or something like that. And he's talking about he's paying her like 30 or 50,000 or something like that. Not that she's not worth it. It's just that things are just drastically cheaper in these other countries, right? So we're able to have a staff of 3 for less than it costs to put one child in daycare, to put that into perspective, right? So I would say that's a huge difference about living abroad. But how it differs with 2 as opposed to 1, I think it's the logistical planning. I mean, I even look at the way the nannies handle things. So for example, it used to just be Akasha at any age. We had 2 ladies, one lady watching Kashi, one lady doing the cleaning. Well, or either just one person at all. Now that there's 2 kids, somebody's got to be with Eternity because he can't just be on his own, right?
Yeah, right.
So somebody's got to be with Eternity, then somebody's got to be with Akasha, or kind of like, Akasha's more like maintenance, whereas Eternity's full time, like, hey, I got to be with this guy all the time, right?
Yeah.
So to me, the two things abroad is more, it's just logistic. It's really logistical.
Yeah, logistic. Yeah. And then as a mother, Akasha's at an age where she really wants to play. Like, she really wants a playmate.
She does.
So that's the other thing that I would say has been, if anything, the most challenging is like, I wanna give that to her.
He showed up right on time, man.
Yeah, and he can kind of play with us, but then she'll hit a point after maybe 15 minutes where she's like, okay, Mom, now just you and I. Give Eternity to the nannies. Like, I just want your attention for a while. So like learning to balance those, like the rituals that I have with each. So like I have an evening walk that I do every night with Eternity, and obviously I put him to bed. And I'm feeding him all night. So there's like that bond between us that's like, we're unbreakable right now. I really can't be away from him for more than 2 to 3 hours. So like that's unbreakable. So it's like really making sure that Akasha and I also have those rituals. So it's like I play with her, there's a time every morning where I try to pray with her. And then you and I have started splitting the homeschooling. We used to have one of our nannies that was kind of doing the homeschooling, and now we're splitting that. And I think that could be an episode in itself, is like the homeschooling adventure very early on, and like the adapting to different personalities in like our approach that we're taking and how we've done that. It's been an interesting journey. So yeah, I would say just parenting in general for me, maybe it's just who I am, but it's like with 2, now you really get to see how the personalities are different. And then also I love seeing how like the same that they were in the womb is like the same people that they're growing into. Like there's something like the way Eternity is, with the way he was in the womb, is like he would move like really intentionally, but kind of more slowly, right? But you could feel his movement. It was like, he's a Capricorn. He was very solid, like very like sturdy.
I remember you saying that the whole time he was
and I could feel he was a boy, even though we never knew. With Akasha,
we knew.
We didn't have any medical tests to tell us, but we knew. Exactly. And that's how he is. He's like, even his energy, I just feel so peaceful around him and like so supported. He's a tiny little baby, but like I feel so supported by his energy. And Akasha is just full of life, and she's dancing and moving, and that's how she was in the womb. Like her arms were all over, her legs were all over. We were talking about the other day, and I'm like, Akasha, you were dancing in there. And she was like, yeah, I was dancing in there. I remember. And that's how she is. Like, so it's fun to see how they are different and how they grow up and how they grow into those.
So what do you think is the same with 1 versus 2, and what's different?
The same with 1 versus 2. The same is like, wow, which has been the best, is like when you just have 1 and you're a parent for the first time, you can't imagine, at least I couldn't imagine how my heart could open up that much again for another child. And it's like, it happens again, and it just expands even more. It's like the amazing amount of love that you have for that first child, like take that and it's like the same, and then it multiplies because you have two and you see them with each other and your family grows. And I think our relationship has grown as just like love expanded.
You sound like those polygamists with multiple wives.
Yeah, I guess it's been a beautiful surprise for me. So that would be what's the same. What's different? The boy and the girl, like a boy versus a girl is very different.
Yeah.
At least Eternity and Akasha are. Like he's just chill and like his emotions are just, except for when he's hungry. And she's just more emotionally expressive, if you will.
Is she though? I thought she was. Look at her now though.
Yeah.
Like once she got that balance of like dad and her brother in the house versus just dad and like 5 women counting herself, you know? So I'm kind of was it just out of balance femininity?
Maybe. I still think she's like very emotionally expressive, but
she is. Don't you feel? Well, for me,
in a good way.
For me, well, I'm not judging. I'm not going to call it a good or a bad way.
Yeah,
I'm just she's expressing whatever she's got going, right? I'm simply saying that the outburst and all of that, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a range. Now she's in like this channel where it's like it's like she's able to regulate it more.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
And I would say myself and Dominic, we're both pretty masculine guys, and I think that just that balance to me is I think what it is. Because I mean, this has been a reoccurring theme now that I think about it with her. Like, think about we'd go to Atlanta and it would just be you and I before turn, right? We call eternity turn. Before eternity, right? It would be you and Kashi, me and Dom, and like she would just mellow out.
Yeah.
You know, and this has been a consistent thing. So
yeah, one more thing I want to say, and then I want to get, maybe there's more perspectives that you want to share even above that, is like, I would say the biggest thing that I want to express is like, before I had children, I think that mentality of like your life is going to change and like, you know, like you've got to put your own needs aside and sacrifice and all of this. What I've realized is that doesn't need to be your story. And I think that's what I love about this lifestyle that we've been able to create, like post children, you know, like we did do the Tulum adventure. We did a big, like our travel there before we had Akasha, when I was pregnant with Akasha, but now it's like our move here and this life we've created and this like a little bit or like we're bouncing back and forth between the US and Colombia, like that's post kids. Like anything is possible. Like you get to define it. You get to define what parenting looks like.
I'm happy you said that. I think that that's a thing. Now I had Dominic when I was like 20, right? So I think that being in that situation, I was able to kind of see this a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. So because Akasha was my second, I guess she was your first, so you had that whole thing. For me, I never doubted how the love was going to spread. I just knew that like that whole umbilical thing I described that went from my heart to Dom's, I just knew it would go to each of the kids, which it has, you know?
Yeah.
With that said though, it's like, all right, I think that a lot of people get caught up in thinking like, hey, this is what parenting is supposed to be. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it this way. Kids need, I always hear this, structure. That shit. Yeah. I don't know what people are talking about. Structure. Kids need structure. What in the world, if you really think about the world outside of, like, yes, if you're training somebody to go be a cog in a machine and they're going to go work corporate, I get it. They have to mentally, but if you look at nature, it's a chaotic structure of its own. You know what I mean?
It's more of it's a flow.
It's a flow. I like that. I'm happy you said that.
Flow,
so kids need flow. Well, look, I'm not going to speak on this. We're going to give our children flow, whether we're going to give them structure or routine. I agree. You know?
I think Akasha, what we've seen from her, well, both of them, they thrive in the flow, not in the rigid, like this has to happen at this time. You have to be out of bed. Yep. It's more like when we get out of the bed in the morning, we do the morning train.
Yeah, I do.
And we go into the living room and we play and we have breakfast and then we go, like her knowing like a predictable flow is helpful for her. I will say that. Yeah. But a rigid structure, no. We tried that with school for a little bit and that did not work well
I'll speak on the things that are a little bit different and versus 1 and 2.
Okay.
The things that I noticed that are, this is 3 for me now, right? Like 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Dom's an adult though, so I'll speak for the 1 and the 2. So having the 1, I really feel like it was more focused, potent love, like just focused on her. And then when you have 2, it's like more intentional love. Whereas for me at least, to like, okay, I got 2 of them. I get he's a boy. His whole vibe is just different though, as you said, you know. It's like he's a Capricorn. Our birthdays are very close together, extremely. Some people may say the same day. That's a whole nother story. So the thing is though, it's like, I can feel, you know what I'm saying with this though, right? Like his needs are drastically different than her needs, right? Like I'll say this and we'll save this for the like, you know, parenting episode that we get into.
Yeah.
I'll say this though, her, like Akasha, like my sons, don't get me wrong, all kids need their parents, right? Yeah. It's like my daughter, I never had a girl. Until I had a girl, it was like, yo, it's like, it has me reassessing my whole thoughts of my childhood with, you know, how that went down. Because it's like, wow, what was my sister going through? Like, if she had needs anything like what Akasha has, like, yeah, Dominic, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, everybody needs their parents, but like, I can feel Akasha needs that. Yeah. Like that. Yeah. She needs it. I don't know how else to describe it, right? Yeah. And whereas with Eternity, maybe it's because the energy's opposite, right? She's feminine, I'm masculine. She just needs that energy, right? And with my son, it's like more of I felt with boys, both of them, it's more of a, hey, model. This is the guy that I look up to. This is who, you know what I mean?
You should see this boy light up when this man walks into the room. I mean, he's just like,
yeah, he does.
Daddy, he's just beaming like.
Other than other than Jack, my late dog. Other than him, I've never had another human being or somebody look up like that. I mean, even you.
This is really cute.
And my wife, and you get pretty happy when I get home.
Yes, but he is unmatched. That's true.
He is. That's just. But he's happy overall. Anyway, to my point though, it's like with them, it's more of a, hey, this is a model. I love this model. I love this person. This is who or what I can be. Mm-hmm. With her, it's like, yo, this is not even what I'm supposed to be, but I need this.
Yeah.
It's the energy is like this. I don't have words, you know. We need to get another dad on here so we can talk about it. Get some other perspectives, you know.
That would be interesting. Yeah, it feels like you're you're definitely a grounding force for her. You're a grounding force for me. I think that is part of like what I've received in my life from a masculine energy, like a true masculine, is like it feels like this, like, I don't know, this like cool ground beneath your feet that's like stable and calming you, and like if you're like here, it's like whoosh, it just diffuses your energy.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool for women, and I'm happy for y'all that y'all get to receive that, right? and it's all good if you probably have like just 1 or 2 women in your house, right? If I had you and just Akasha, but when there's 5 women all the time, and that's a whole nother podcast.
It is.
And one of them's crying in the kitchen all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's a whole other podcast. We are blessed. We are blessed. We are blessed 100%. Yes. We are. All right. So I think that the key is that this can be done though. You know, this is a thing. I think we're living proof that you don't have to be boxed into whatever your reality. I mean, think about it. Most people, if you gave them, everybody's got a different number, 500,000 to 20 million, depending on the person, for their definition of financial freedom. If you gave most people financial freedom, the first thing they're going to do is move to the beach somewhere. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? So I think that we can be a testament or a living testament that, yo, it can be done. It can be done. If that's what we kind of made a habit out of. I used to say this in Atlanta. I'd be like, you know, I like living in vacation destinations. I get Atlanta wasn't the biggest. A lot of people did come to Atlanta to vacation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when you live in these kind of places, you get to see the people that are like going through and going out. It's just the whole idea of vacation, another podcast episode. Yes. A whole idea of vacation is like, yo, why don't we just live in the places we want to live so that we don't have to get like, I'm at a point now where it's like, I feel, we have to go back to that. I'm feeling like a little bit of sadness that I got to leave here. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Well,
like, And I don't mean to cut you. I remember having sadness when I was living in Ohio. I will never forget this. I'm going to tell this. I was living in Ohio. I went out to LA for like a week. And then I came back and I got on that plane and I landed back in Ohio and I was in tears like a baby when I got back to Ohio, right? And it was the complete opposite. It was just my life there. I just was so in the opposite of resonance that I was crying like a child. And now I've had the opposite reaction. Yeah. I got to leave here and it is what it is.
And I think that's a goal for a lot of people, right? Me? Like the saying goes, you know, live a life that you don't have to take a vacation from. Like make your life like a vacation.
Everybody says that, but people not showing nobody that though.
Well, and that's what I was going to get to is like, okay, what would you say if there was one thing that you could say that you did or changed or how you thought or what you embodied Like, what's one thing that you think you could?
You. It's 100% you. It's 100%. We would not be here if not for you. It's you. 100%. Like, I fancied myself a traveler, right? Like, I would go to LA, I would go to Toronto, I'd go to Miami, and then I meet this beautiful little sexy thing over here.
Aww.
And then you over here telling me that you've lived in India, and then you've lived in, like, you were in Bali and all over the world. And I'm like,
all those places.
Yeah,
yes.
San
Lived
Diego, Costa Rica, all this other stuff. Yeah. And I'm just like, that just, having a partner, well, okay, that's another episode. Having a partner, when you guys can get on the same page and really get behind things, you can do anything. I think, unfortunately, two things. I think that people, and you can speak on this, I think that people are doing what they think, what culture says, this is what a husband should do and this is what a wife should do, right? As opposed to what they both really want to do, number one, and number two. And then number two is, I think a lot of people are simply, they have their truths, or on some level they know it, and then that may not be their husband's truth or their wife's truth, and they're going against each other, right? Yeah. And I feel like on most, like, we're probably like on the low end 85% in sync, I would say.
Yeah.
That's the low end, I would say. I mean, just think about it. Like, I know people that have to argue with their spouses about literally vaccinations. Like, I know some people whose husband or wives have taken the child to get vaccinated behind their backs, right? I know people who are dietary things, right? They believe one thing about food, and then their husband or wife may believe another thing about food, right? I know people that are in positions about spirituality. So it goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I don't think that people are really taking into account how it's not about capitulating, right? I don't want to marry you and then just like, oh, well, you know, my wife thinks this is more important, but I think this is, so I'm just going to, she cares more. So I think it works more for me when you marry somebody who you guys are in alignment, right?
Yeah.
And if you could teach me something, which you have, and vice versa, if you can game me, school me to something that I didn't know, and then I adopt that, and then that's a new moral, then I go with it, then that's what's up. People end up resenting each other if you're just like, oh, well, I mean, I'm sick of these dudes talking about happy wife. If you say happy wife, happy life, just unfriend me. Just go onto my Instagram and just delete me. Okay, please. Anyway, like, these people, it's like, bro, what does that mean about you though? What are you saying about yourself? So you're factually saying that your happiness doesn't matter? You know, I just don't understand that at all, right? So the point is, I think that, like, there's 8 billion of us on earth. Just find somebody who's aligned with whatever it is I don't care what it is, what your beliefs are, just whatever it is, just don't, we don't need to sell ourselves short. We can all have exactly what we want out of life.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I mean, if I think about it and I think back, I would agree. I think, and you help me with this a lot, in order to live a life that is maybe different from the norm, you have to get rid of the ideas that the norm is the only thing that's possible. And like, you really helped me with that, with like thinking outside the box and like giving myself permission to do things a different way than what I saw other people around me doing. So
that's another podcast episode.
Thank you for that. The other thing that I did do is, I remember like the year, I think it was maybe like 6 months before we ended up coming here for the first time, like writing down in detail like what our life was going to, I was pregnant with Akasha, like what our life was going to look like.
Yeah, I remember
once
that.
We had her, and it was like living near a beach and, you know, having a nanny to help us and like just living this beautiful life that is not exactly, but very close.
Did you feel into that though when you wrote that?
Yes,
did you feel
it wasn't about writing. It was feeling it, and I would visualize it, and I would feel myself in that, and I would think to myself like, how will I feel when I'm living that life? And it was this like letting go, this like sense of peace and ease and excitement and adventure and love, and that was my goal, was like to stay as close to that vibration and energy as I could, even when I was in Atlanta. Right? Even when we were in Atlanta. And then the first step was like, we manifested the ability to travel for 3 months. We came here and we didn't want to leave. We've kind of told that story before. But yeah, those are two things. Like, first was like releasing the limiting beliefs. And then secondly was writing down clearly what the vision was. And third was, to your point, like embodying like the energy, the emotion of how I would feel when it happened before it happened. Yeah. Living in the identity before it happened.
Well, thank you for doing that, because that apparently is what got us here. Because I mean, if we were to talk about the sequence of events from us almost moving to Crespo,
Yeah.
Right?
Oof.
From like,
I forgot about
not
Crespo.
that Crespo's bad, it's just that this place that we were looking
a
at.
particular place, yes.
So from that to the way that we went from a building 2 buildings down to here, from Antabaria meaning like the earthly mother or all the mother of the waters.
That's the name of this
our building.
Building is at the Bea.
Yeah, right. And for all of these things to have fallen in line the way that they have, there's just, it's like the winding staircase, something else we have to talk about.
Yeah,
you know,
so many
podcasts.
Episodes,
yeah, we got
so much to come.
We really do. So
yeah, I think that was my main thing I wanted to express today, was just as I think about these last 2 years, and really when I think about the ascended life and what this podcast is, for me, it's about what's possible, and like just helping people not only like see, not that everyone's ideal looks like living in Colombia with a family, but whatever that is for you, even if you don't see anyone around you doing it, like you can do it, and hopefully to give people a few ideas along the way for how they can. We're gonna have to
really talk about that, because another thing is that whatever you think and believe about yourself is what your life is going to look like.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, I can look back on certain periods of my life and I look at where I was, and it's like, it was completely, it's like the world doesn't have a choice. This is a whole nother podcast though.
It is so many
except
things.
To mirror what's going on inside. So I'm happy you said what you said
beautiful.
Though. I'm happy you said what you said. That's what this podcast is going to be about, is, you know, showing people what's possible in life. You know,
and
discussing these things and breathing other people, you know,
for, you know, how you can get there, but mostly just to, I think a lot of times we look around and we look for like role models or people who think like we do, or at least see like life outside the little boxes that we sometimes get ourselves in or see when we look around. And yeah, hopefully we can inspire in some way.
If you say happy wife, happy life, you don't have to delete me. You don't have to. Just know that you can also be happy, right? You know, both parties can be happy.
Absolutely.
In a marriage.
Yes.
In a life. You don't have to. Women are not this ball, and it's not this thing that you're just meant to do. You can grow together.
You can.
You can have happiness together. You can have whatever you want together. It's just, you have to be completely, on a whole other podcast, completely honest with yourself about who it is that you are, what it is that you want, and then completely honest with your wife or husband or whoever about who it is that you are and whatever you want. If you do those things, it's whatever. That whole the whole happy wife, happy life comes in because you feel that you're not worthy of whatever it is that you want and you're settling.
Perhaps, yeah. Or if both people are saying that, then it's a relationship that's built on giving.
How many women have you met that says happy? What is the saying? Happy husband?
I don't know what the saying is.
Then it ain't
no
love.
I know a lot of women who genuinely like want to give to their husbands, and so
God.
I think that.
But seriously though, when you're with women, do you hear women sitting around saying, "Oh, happy husband, happy"? Happy loved.
I don't say that, but I do see a lot of women who genuinely like want their husbands to be happy. Yes.
Whole nother podcast.
Yeah, whole nother podcast.
Whole nother pod. We came up about 15 episodes just in this one. So,
yes.
Closing thoughts?
Anything is possible. Like, I would just say what I'd like to leave people with today is whatever your vision, whatever your dream, whatever it is that people have told you isn't possible, or there's something inside of you that's saying that it's not, but it's on your heart. I really believe if there's something on your heart, that you have everything within you to make it possible. Like, write it down, think about how you will feel when you're already living that, and then be that. That's it. That for me,
we'll
that's
do
it
that
today.
one. That'll be a good one.
That's just my little parting thought. Like if I can leave people with just that today, that would be it.
And I'm right there. I'm not normally a big piggybacker. I'm piggybacking all day. I'm right there with you. Just whatever. Well, I'll take that to another place. Self-love, right? Mm-hmm. The first step is, once you truly love and accept yourself, and you're truthful with yourself, then you'll only put yourselves in the scenarios that Kes just so eloquently outlined. Right? You'll only put yourself in the scenarios to which are the best case, like the best that you want, or whatever it is. You know, I'm not going to say what it should be or what it shouldn't be. It's just that self-love piece. So that's what I'll leave it with. This has been an amazing episode of the Ascended Life Podcast. We're going to do a lot of new things coming up. We're going to be traveling the U.S. again. We'll be back here in about just under 6 days or so. So we'll be traveling, shooting from all over the place. I plan on potentially having some guests while we're on the road.
That would be great.
Maybe some people that you guys know, maybe some people you guys don't know.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some stuff like
Maybe
that.
another date night special.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I guess we could. I was thinking, I'm just like, where would potentially another podcast?
Yeah. Perfect.
I was thinking about that though. I really was. Yeah, you read my mind. So thank you guys for joining us again, and we'll see you next time.
Sending you love and peace.